Hello everyone, welcome to Love All, the tennis talk show. I'm your host Nicolette, and thank you for tuning in to episode 1. I love how I'm saying hello everyone when literally this is the first episode, so I'm hoping more than one person is listening. So if there is one person listening, probably my parents, hello to the one or two. This is again Love All, where we spill it all, or I'm really going to try to dive into the current events and stories of professional tennis, trends, gossip, fashion, life beyond the net. And I'm kind of summarizing it, or I'm describing the show, or what I want the show to be is, I want to know about your forehand, but I really want to know if you have a girlfriend. And I'm talking to a few individuals there directly, namely Stefanos Tsitsipas. We will be launching an investigation into your love life in later episodes. I will get to the bottom of it. So this is going to be a show, podcast, wherever you like to listen or watch. I'm gonna have it for now, YouTube, Love All, the tennis talk show, and podcast, Spotify, Apple, where major podcasts are available, Love All, the tennis talk show. So this episode is going to be basically Wimbledon recap. It's been a week since Wimbledon, and little news stories you might not have seen, heard of. Just gonna, dive right in. Well, actually, before I begin, I want to give a special thank you, a shout out to The Morning Toast. They are they're not tennis. They're a web show and podcast, also all about pop culture. So they kind of dive into the stories of everything pop culture. They also have business news, some sports news, just world news. They're a morning show every morning at 10:30 Eastern, I believe. They go live on YouTube. They have a podcast too, and they're kind of the inspiration behind what you see here. They dive deeper than, what is given to us on the surface, and give honest reviews of my favorite reality shows. So if you love pop culture, check them out. The Morning Toast, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. So thank you. And okay, we're gonna dive right in. So this is gonna be Wimbledon recap again, just some stories you might have missed out on, or you saw but didn't pay much attention to. Okay, first story. This is just a little cute. Tennis legend Stan Smith gave Kate Middleton a tiny pair of his sneakers for Prince Louis at Wimbledon. And this honestly caught my eye in the beginning, because I was under the impression that Stan Smith was deceased. I have no idea. Maybe I haven't seen him, but you've seen like Bjorn Borg, Rod Laver, some of the older tennis legends. I feel like I've seen them all the time. And Stan Smith, I knew he had the sneakers because I actually have a pair. And I knew it was the old tennis sneaker, and I was unaware that he was living. So I just thought that was cute. So he gave them, they have a little to Louis from Stan Smith in gold. But I have to warn her, or him, I bought these sneakers when I was abroad, 2-3 years ago, I think, and they're all leather. And unlike the other Adidas that I had that were kind of cotton, actually not cotton, I don't know, a stretchier material, these sneakers do not move. I bought them in half size down because everyone said buy them in half size down. It truly was a year and a half, and I have not broken them in. I stopped wearing them, and it's gonna give him a blister. And that's treason, honestly, because he's a royal. And so I don't know what he's thinking, giving this precious child those shoes, but oh my God, and I'm just seeing, she wore a $1,700 Amelia Wickstead dress for the occasion. It must be nice wearing $1,000 dresses and getting free things. Anyway, he is really cute, and I love the royal children, so have at it. Just make sure you don't get a little blister. Story number 2, trigger warning. I love the big three. I absolutely think they're all class acts. I love their success, and I love watching all of them. And I really am wishing the best for Rafa, Roger, and Novak. And I don't even know why this has to be a trigger warning, because people are crazy, but I am a ride or die Novak Djokovic fan. So I'm sorry about that, but it's true. Okay, sorry, I'm back. My entire family came crashing into my house. We're back and we're good. So, story number 2, Novak Djokovic inexplicably inexplicably booed during Wimbledon final against Roger Federer. Okay, again, trigger warning, people, and please keep listening even though I'm a Novak fan, because I do love all of them, but this just like made me so upset, and it was upsetting to watch, just because I think that, okay, I get the love for Roger. I love him too, and like, he is a great and amazing, handsome, great family, love the wife, like total package, class act. But if it was anyone else that he was playing, like, I get they would love him and obviously be on his side, but they would not have booed the opponent. Like, I really don't think, I that's just what I think. Like, if it was like Kevin Anderson like last year, or even like, I don't know, someone like random-ish, it's just, I find it hard to believe that they would have been so harsh. I don't know what it is with Novak Djokovic. Like, people do not like him. Like, they will not give it to him. He's like, I think he's just as good / better than Rafa and Roger. I guess he came like a little bit later in his life, but people don't like him, and he's like actually my favorite and my entire family's favorite. And like, I do have to say, I first started liking him because we had the same initials. When I didn't know like too much about tennis, I just like liked playing, and so like wanted someone to root for, and I was like, oh, his initials are ND, like me too. So, you know, I've really grown to love him and adore him. The initials was enough for me back then. But it really isn't something you see in tennis, at least I don't think, where people are booing or people are like heckling. Some people like it and want there to be more of it, but personally, I am not loving it. But it made his win sweeter at the end because he was just throwing it out to the crowd. Food for thought, people. They would not have been so mean if it was against anyone else. And this brings us to our next story. Our favorite bad boy, Nick Kyrgios, burns Novak Djokovic with not so subtle tweet ahead of Wimbledon final. Okay, I don't have Twitter, so I actually didn't see this until, I don't know if someone commentating mentioned this, or I just saw on Instagram or something, but he tweeted, Federer, please win. Also like ghost emoji. I don't know what the ghost emoji means. If someone wants to DM me, love the Tennis Talk Show on Instagram, or like leave a comment, that'd be great. If I'm missing something, just tell me what the ghost emoji is, because I'm just reading it as Federer, please win. And this was so annoying. Like, Nick Kyrgios is out of control. I'm sure everyone listened to, if you're into tennis, or heard about the podcast that he did with, I think it was No Challenges Remaining. I think it's a New York Times or I'm not sure, but it's called No Challenges Remaining, and he did this whole like podcast episode where he was just breaking it down and being very, very real. So one of the quotes he said, like when he was asked about Djokovic, was he has a sick obsession with wanting to be liked. He just wants to be like Roger. I don't care. He wants to be so liked that I can't say no. Okay, Nick Kyrgios, you have a sick obsession with him. Okay. Why are you always talking about him? Enough. He's so cringeworthy. He's whatever. And he's actually like, I don't know. In tennis, I feel like you have like automatic people, your favorites, like who you're fans of. Like for my family, Nick Kyrgios was like an automatic. My mom is Australian Greek, and he is Australian Greek. So it was like, okay, we're all on the bandwagon, whatever. And like, I forgave him for years for like his behavior, basically. I mean, I appreciate how real he is, and how like he is open about like his struggles and his like what he really thinks about like the tour and like being on tour. And he actually did mention that he's like, not that he didn't like, well, I guess like that he doesn't like being on tour, like he likes to be home. He literally said repeatedly, I just want to be at home drinking my iced coffee from my local cafe and playing basketball with my friends. Like he literally kept saying that. And I literally want to be through the screen. I'm like, if you weren't playing tennis, you probably would have to have a job where you couldn't be drinking iced coffee and just playing basketball with your friends every day. So I don't know what you could be making millions, traveling 6 months out of the year, playing tennis, which you're very talented and very good at. Or you literally could be at a desk 5 days a week. Like, what do you think? You're just going to drink iced coffee every day? Like, that's not going to happen. Appreciate the millions that you're making. Anyway, I have plenty of stories lined up about him for other episodes, so I love the drama that he brings, I'm not even gonna lie, but just not against my man's Djokovic. Okay, moving on to brighter things. Next story, Simona Halep is Audrey Hepburn of tennis, White House official says. Random coming from the White House official. This is from Tennis World USA. Okay, like I'll take it. It caught my eye because I was like, honestly true. Wimbledon champion Simona Halep was compared with Oscar-winning Hollywood actress Audrey Hepburn in an interview for Romania insider Douglas McKinnon, former White House and Pentagon official. About 5 years ago, I got to watch it. Okay, he's basically saying, oh, her, in terms of talent, class, elegance, kindness, and humility, she is the Audrey Hepburn of tennis. Honestly, I thought that people disagreed because I thought she was rather, like, a bit of a hothead before. I hadn't really paid attention to her till, like, lately, but that's what I heard from some other people who have watched her, but she's just, like, really turned it around and been more positive and been better on court. Apparently, she was really emotional, you know, feisty, which I love too. But, you know, I honestly have to agree. She is beauty. She is grace. She's Miss United States. No, she's Miss Romania. I love it. And honestly, that was a great match. The women's final, like, I'm American, love Serena, but it was nice once in a while, like, seeing her lose. I mean, like, not like it was nice seeing her lose, but sometimes, I mean, this is usually what happens with Serena and other people. There were years where it's honestly not even enjoyable because you just see Serena dominating, like annihilating these players, like savage. But this was the other way around, and I thought she played great. I think everyone thought she played great, and like her speech at the end was just so cute. Like, she was really genuine and happy, and she loved the world, and I literally loved that. And then when it panned to Serena, like, and I think a lot of tennis players like have this like class about them that they like recognize as someone else, or unless they weren't, like something happened, recognize the other person was a better player that day during that match. But she seemed like genuinely happy for her, and I really think that it was her first Wimbledon, and I think Serena was just like, she was looking on and she was just like, and I was like, I love Serena being happy for Simona, and excited to keep watching Simona Halep. And I do agree, she's the Audrey Hepburn. Okay, another royal news. This is just so royal because it's Wimbledon. This caught my eye. Prince George got a tennis lesson from Roger Federer, who said the potential future king's game is already good. What's he gonna say? He sucks? Obviously. Okay, he said he called the future king cute, and he said it was a big deal to be considered his favorite tennis player. He actually also mentions, maybe I'm the only tennis player he's ever met, so that's why he's his favorite, which is cute. Oh, the other thing. He said the lesson took place at Kate Middleton's parents' house in Bucklebury. What I'm taking away from this is Kate Middleton's parents have a tennis court at their house, so must be nice. You know, that's cute. Play on, George. Very good for you. I'm just jealous. That's it. Actually, I think it's his birthday today. I think I follow like Buckingham or Kensington Royal on Instagram. What is it, the 21st today? Yeah, I think it's his, happy birthday. He's 5. I don't know, but like how good at tennis is he gonna be? He's 5 or 6. Anyway, that's actually really cute. And again, have at it, George. 6th and final story. I picked 6 because I was like 6 games to a set. This might have been my favorite story of them all because I think it's, you know, it is less tennis heavy, but it's all about Wimbledon. This is from Express. Oh, I'll link all the stories to the biography. Not the biography, the description. Wimbledon commentator blasted for Mirka Federer costume jewelry comment. Wimbledon commentator Andrew Castle has been blasted for commenting on Mirka Federer's ring during the final between Roger Federer and Novak Djokovic. Okay, I was looking for stories about her ring. Like, I was Googling Mirka Federer ring, like, during the match. It's huge. He said, doesn't it look like costume jewelry? Doesn't look like costume jewelry, does it, on the finger? I was actually thinking the same thing, and when it panned to her, probably one of the first times, she had her hands like up on her face, or she was like doing this, and my mom just goes, that ring. And I was like, that cannot be real. Like, that has to be, like, that is costume jewelry. And my mom's like, no, I don't think so. So we were like Googling her ring. I'm sure it's real with what he's raking in. But honestly, like, that's goals for me. It might be a little too big. You know, bigger is better, I believe. So actually everyone was like fuming at this guy. You're paid to comment on the tennis, not Mirka's jewelry. Andrew Castle's going on about money earned. and how she's not having costume jewelry, he's coming across very bitter. If you can't commentate constructively on the tennis and keep quiet. Okay, this is the problem. Yes, he can talk about tennis. He's there to talk about tennis. Like, obviously, it's the men's final. But, like, you need to talk about the surroundings, too, and what goes on outside once in a while. And that ring could not be ignored. It's huge. I mean, like, but she also, like, she doesn't wear a lot of jewelry, I've noticed. She's very elegant and tasteful. She has the diamond studs, and she has the ring. She's very elegant and tasteful in her... I think she's an understated elegance in her style and her look, and I do also want to see where her dress is from. I will be dedicating part of my Instagram, or at least the highlights, to wives and girlfriends of ATP players because their fashion. Love it. Okay, that's that. That's all the Wimbledon recap I have for you today. And, you know, more episodes to come will not really revolve around just news stories, but it was a slam and I'm just trying to recap. So try to have different segments and different juicier gossip. I'll try to dive in more tennis-ish. So if you want to watch, unless you're watching right now, watch on YouTube. Love All the Tennis Talk Show. Again, if you're watching on YouTube and you want a podcast, or you're listening on the podcast and want to watch, podcast, Love All Tennis Talk Show on Spotify, Apple, where major podcasts are found. So thank you for tuning in, and hopefully I will see you in a few weeks for another episode. Thank you.